All right, we doing Brandi Love right here?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's play it up. So we had so I did the Barstool Gold whatever last week, I guess. It was a week ago today, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was asked the guest I want on most. I said Brandi Love. She found out about it, reached out to us, was happy to do it. We've tried to get her on in the past. We'll talk about that after. And I think we talk about the life of the interview as well. You're going to enjoy this. Brandi Love joins us right now. It's finally, this is, every once in a while, a young child's dream comes true. And it's finally happening. On Tuesday, I was asked on Barstool who my dream guest is. I said Brandi Love. 3 days later, well, I guess a week later if we're taping it, who am I talking to right now? Brandi, dreams. This is like Make-A-Wish for podcasters. This is unbelievable. This is actually happening.
Okay, now you're making me nervous. I'd hate to fail you.
What's going on? How you do? So we talked for a second before, and you said basically what you told me was you got absolutely shit-faced and you're completely hungover right now, right? Basically, is that it?
Well, that sounds a lot more fun. I'm totally not hungover because when I drink tequila, I bounce back super fast. I'm a professional tequila drinker, but it was a little bit rowdier evening than we anticipated because it was an arts charity event. So, sometimes you got to throw a curveball and make it a little more fun than it actually was.
What is your? I'm 5 million things I'm fascinated about with your life. Because obviously I follow you on Twitter. You're an awesome follow. So what is your basic schedule with job versus life? Like when we were messaging back and forth with the show to do the stuff, you said you have to go to LA to do stuff. Do you just go out, shoot like a bunch of stuff back to back, then take a bunch of time off and do it again, or what's like a basic Brandi Love month like, for example?
Well, it's always interesting, and I enjoy that. We have two different companies. One is in the real estate side of things, and then of course the adult company. And within the adult company, it's so multifaceted, which keeps things very, very exciting. We have the live camming. We're always shooting content for my own stuff on Pornhub, and then there's LA. And through the years, because of starting new companies and what you called life, that thing that we try to balance. Right. I go out to LA only 3 times a year now, and I go for about 3 weeks. And when I'm there for those 3 weeks, it is I can swear, right?
You can, yes, you can say whatever you want.
Okay, it's truly a fuckathon. I mean, it is like I shoot every single day. I might take a day off every 8 to 9 days. And then I come home and go back to work doing the other things and enjoying my family and quote unquote normal life. So through the years, it's worked out to be a really great schedule of balancing adult life and normal life.
In the middle of that fuckathon, is there any point where you're like, I just want to go back east. I want to go back to the house. I just want to, look at this, just enjoy my. Is there a point? Are you at the point in your career where you're sort of like, I am sick of this shit. I am sick of fucking these random guys who I don't really know, and it's kind of weird. Are you? Because look, I'm going to say it right now. I've said this before. I'm going to tell you right now. You're the Meryl Streep of porn. You're better than Meryl Streep. You're better. Meryl Streep could never do a stepdaughter scene like you. Forget I said that. You are the greatest. I am saying this to you. Listen to me right now, Brandi. Okay, listen to me. Because I don't know if you ever heard this before. You're the greatest actress who has ever lived. Ever. Understand what I'm saying?
You're killing me right now. My cheeks hurt, and I'm dying.
It's a fact. And by the way, Meryl Streep also gave Roman Polanski a standing ovation at the Academy Awards, so she's an asshole. So forget her. You are.
Let's not compare those.
Correct. I can't think of an acting. Your stepdaughter scenes are the greatest acting in film, and your intros to these scenes are what you do best. That's what you do. The way you. The sex is great, but the way you tell the story before, the best ever. You're the best ever at it.
Well, see, I appreciate the fact that you actually might be one of the, 8% of people in the entire United States that watch porn. How about the world that actually give a shit about the beginning of the story? I am hearing more and more.
Thank you.
That people care about the story.
Yes,
it makes
of course.
it hotter. It's the foreplay, right?
Well, I can't. So when I scroll through, if I'm on wherever, right? So let's say that I'm looking for a scene, and the minute I click on it, it's straight fucking right away. I feel like I've jumped into some weird thing that is not like I need. You know what? I'll say it. I need to be romanced a little bit. Like your scene, like the scene where you had with the where you're I forget the name of the world. I think it's called Blacked or something. Is that right? That's that. So it's your sister in the scene, right? Is you're talking at the beginning. You're in your room. You're putting on your outfit. Awesome. You look unbelievable. Fantastic. and then the sister goes to the mall, which is a bad move on her part, I have to say in retrospect.
Yeah,
she
shouldn't have left me alone.
The sisters and the wives and the girl, why are they always so dumb in these scenes? They're totally irrelevant.
It makes things easier.
I guess so. That's true. But boom, right away, honestly, the best storytelling ever. Dickens himself, if he got out of his grave, could not write a scene like that. I'm not even kidding. I love it. But the point is, my question was anyway, do you get bored doing it? A long way of saying, do you get bored being in LA doing this, or do you still really enjoy the experience?
No, I honest to God, I will always miss home. I don't love to travel because I love my family. I love my friends.
Sure.
I absolutely enjoy where I live. And I'm an East Coast girl. So heading out west is, I figured out my places to hike, and I've got my handful of friends there that I really enjoy. 4 or 5 days in, I'm missing home, but I don't hate what I do. There hasn't been a day in my career, 15 years going, that I've gone, God dang, this sucks. It just sucks for a living that I get paid to have sex with professional fuckers. I mean, how can that job suck? So for me, people judge. I take my ridicule. I take shit every single day. And I've learned to smile and go, yeah, I know my life is better than yours. So judge on if it makes you feel better.
Well, certainly on Twitter, you're not afraid to tell somebody to go fuck themselves, which I appreciate.
Well,
I'm going to guess. I think it's great. And I'm going to guess you have received more penis pictures than any living person. It's just a guess. No?
There might be a few out there that have received more because I do make it very clear.
Well, that's what I mean. Fuck off, basically.
My fuck club rules. So when you break a rule, I simply, half the time, if I start to open the picture, you're gone. I delete you. Now, people say that comes with the territory. You're a porn star, for God's sake. You should know you're going to get dick pics. Well, touche, absolutely. But there's a time and a place. My private Snapchat, you can send jerk off pictures. I don't care. That's awesome. Just, I don't find the public forum the place to show everybody how small your penis is, or how unattractive your penis is, or maybe how grotesquely large it is. It's just, for me, I made those rules because it just seems like the wrong place. You know what I'm saying?
I certainly do. But I you know what bothered me the most, I think, honestly, is
what?
if I had to do a scene, I had to kiss a smoker. I hate smokers. That to me would be
would bother you the most?
Yeah, I think it might. Like, do you ever have to deal
That's
with...
the one thing?
I think so. I think I'd almost rather blow a guy than have a guy who's smoking kiss me on. I hate it. Have you ever dealt with somebody who's just got, BO, awful breath, anything like that, or no?
Well, it's interesting, again, because I work in the realm of the adult industry.
Right.
We are all professionals.
True.
People really go to great lengths to be, smell great. Everybody's got their mouthwash. I mean, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
There are those people from time to time that are, let's call them new, and maybe they don't have parents that taught them hygiene or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've more than once had to take them to the side and, in the most polite and maternal way, explain certain things. But I swear to God, in 15 years, it's happened once.
That's not so bad.
It's not bad at all, number one. And number two, smokers, I don't know a single smoker, if we're talking about nicotine in LA.
Yeah, everyone
now. Smokes weed.
Right, yeah, true.
And honestly, it doesn't bother me, but I'm not a smoker at all. I don't smoke anything. So even with that, though, they're right in there with their mouthwash and chewing gum. So people are pretty conscientious of one another.
How long so let's say you do like a scene I'm watching, let's say any basic scene that you do. How long from beginning to end does that scene take? Is it a day? Is it 12 hours? Is it just one take? I mean, how does it, obviously there's different camera angles. How does that?
Oh yeah, sure. It's a great question. I think most people are curious about it. And it's bizarre. There's no magic number. I mean, vignettes, which are like just the scene that's thrown up on Pornhub or any website, those can take anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. 4 is the least I've ever been on set. And 16 is the longest I've ever been on set.
Oh, God.
16's outrageous because those are for features where the producer will want every single scene, all the different actors to be there, and you'll get there at 8 a.m. and then your scene's at 9 p.m. So you sit around all day. It's very annoying. That's why I really don't shoot features, because it's a waste of precious time, in my opinion. So most, honest to God, most are a normal day, 9 to 5. You can plan on being set from 9 to 5.
You're smart too, though. It seems like you've figured out that the business has just changed fast, and you need to take control of your own property. Like the stuff you're talking about, filming your own stuff, getting your own channel. Like you just can't be obviously what it was 15, 20 years ago. I find that the business is so interesting now because you can get so much of it online. I mean, I'm sure nobody, statistically, right? Nobody buys them anymore, right?
Well, believe it or not, there is still, this is what this is what I love about the last great generation.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna miss them. They still do buy porn. I mean, they still they like to have in their hand the DVD. They like the covers. And some of the people who used to literally buy the VHSs are now buying the DVDs. They believe in supporting, let's call it the arts. You can laugh, but they believe in supporting their favorite actors and actresses and things like even Pornhub. Okay, so everyone knows you can go to Pornhub and get free content.
Right.
Great. But even Pornhub has gotten to, they're reaching out. They're getting content from the content providers, meaning myself and others, as well as what they've basically brought in together. And you support me. Well, Kirk can go on there, type in Brandi Love, find my profile, decide to join my fan club, which is not pro content, but it's my content that you can only get exclusively at Pornhub. It's cheap, $12, $15, $20, whatever. And that's where, so you can choose to support us. Now I understand, and I know I'm going to piss off a bunch of people, but anybody under 35 is like, why the fuck would I pay for it? It's there for me. Fine. Well, there's stuff there for you too, but we're trying to continue to support the adult industry in the few ways that we can, because honestly, it could go away. It really could, because it costs a ton of money. These producers out in LA, it can cost $10,000-$15,000 to produce a 32-minute video.
Do you shoot all these? That's the private stuff. You actually shoot that in your actual home?
The stuff that I shoot?
Yeah. What do you have?
Well, I have a studio.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So now I can, that we're empty nesters, which is a whole nother story. But we never have shot in our homes. It's always been at a studio.
Sure.
And we like to do roadhead videos, and those are wherever we happen to be, out in the woods. I mean, the world is our oyster when it comes to shooting content.
Right. It's got to be strange being Brandi Love, though. Just it's different than being any other celebrity. And the guys, you talk to guys all the time who like masturbate to you all the time. Like you're talking to two of them right now. But I mean, like, so
Hi guys.
Hello. But I mean, it's got to be strange. Like it's just, and people are looking at you, and there's also this weird thing where I'm sure some people don't want to come up and talk to you. There's also a stigma sort of weirdly attached as well. It's just a fascinating, and you're also, by the way, kind of Brandi Love, but you're not Brandi Love, right? Too? You know what I mean? So there's sort of, I mean, you're not, when you go to see a movie with your husband or whatever with your buddies, you're not Brandi Love. You know what I mean? So there's this weird, there must be a strange existence in some ways.
But at the same time, I actually always am. And I totally respect what you're saying. And thank you for saying it, because you get that. But you also have to understand that most don't, right?
That's got to be kind of scary, though, at the same time, too, I would think, no?
Well, I wouldn't use the word scary, but what it does force you to be on your A game at all times,
Right.
You think you're under the radar and you look like shit, you got a ball cap on and you're just wanting to go get your coffee, and 4 people grab you and they're like, oh my God, can we please do a Snapchat? Can we please take a photo? And I'm not going to be a dick and say no. I mean, if it weren't for them knowing who I am, I wouldn't have the awesome career that I have. So you learn very quickly to just suck it up. This goes with the territory. You're naive to think that your privacy is available because it becomes extremely limited. But that's okay. I mean, I knew what I signed up for. Of course, there's those moments, and, and barstools may not remember, but you have those moments of limitations that are thrown in your face, like taking your child to orientation for college.
Right.
Those moments that you wish so desperately could stay true to yourself and your family, those are gone. And it took me a moment when I saw that posted. It took me a moment and I went, oh, because I'm very protective, of course. What parent isn't?
Of course.
Luckily for me, mine's exceptionally smart, and she thrives in a unique situation of having the parents that she has. And she's earned herself a way into a Big 10 school. I mean, Big 12, both. She got into schools I could have never gotten into.
Right.
And, it would have been so nice because the school really did welcome her. I mean, they know exactly who she is, and they welcomed her. She wrote an incredible essay on who she is. You know, come up and say hi. Welcome us to the family. Sit down and have a normal conversation. That would have been so classy. But instead, and I understand they're young, but to snap a picture, to put up for trolls to make inappropriate comments, when that's supposed to be such a great moment,
Yeah, no, evolving. Anytime, as I said, anytime you evolve kids, a dick move. It's just,
that's a great way
it's
to
just a
say
dick
it.
move. There's no upside to it.
And it's not unexpected, Kirk. It's not unexpected.
No, I
You
get
just
it.
kind of, those are when you put your head down and you go, humanity sucks.
Right. True. Is there?
And then there's those other moments where people do something so fabulous and you're like, oh, I still have faith. People are good. They're decent.
This is. By the way, I have a sidekick, not quite a co-host. So he'd like to be. His name is Blind Mike.
Sidekick.
Blind Mike, who is
Hi, Brandi.
who is blind,
Hi,
legally
Mike.
blind, and I believe actually proved the old theory, Brandi. I think he actually went blind masturbating to you so many times you can actually go blind. Our parents always told us
Definitely
this.
possible.
It happened. Yeah, he wanted to ask you something. So go ahead, Mike.
If that happened, I feel like I owe you something, Blind Mike.
There
Yeah,
you go.
you were one of the first, my first regulars.
Really?
Oh yeah, big time.
God.
But
God.
how does your daughter deal with your profession?
With class and with grace, I'll be honest with you. I mean, she's had to deal with it since probably 7th, 8th grade, which was mind blowing because we're a kid's parents well, I shouldn't say anything because I don't know when you guys started, but where are the parents that these kids are home typing away, watching stuff that they know who people's parents are? Anyway, it came around 8th or 9th grade where we had the conversation because somebody had come up to her and said, "Hey, is your mom Brandi Love?" And her comment back, she held her head up high and she said, "That's my mom's business, none of yours." Literally. And as a little kid, I think that was a lot. And she's such a tender-hearted kid and so loving that she's not a fighter. And she came home, we had a long conversation, and she said, "You know what, Mom and Dad, I don't care what you do. I love you guys. You're amazing. And if what you do makes you happy and you're successful," she said, "then that's your business, not mine." And she has maintained that attitude. And when things happen, she just looks at them and says, "That's none of my business. That's my parents' business," and walks away.
Well, I find it so interesting. Like there's this stigma now, and I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen with adult film and everything, where these feminists want to weigh in. To me, there's nothing more anti-feminist than giving somebody shit for being. It's a woman who's an adult woman making a clear choice who wants to make a living. I don't understand why anybody has an issue with that. It's always mystifying
because
to
it
me.
doesn't fit their agenda. Let's be clear about
Right,
that.
sure, no, I
Don't
get-
even get
yeah.
me started.
You can fire away. I've never this sort of better than attitude. Well, it's like, this person wants to do it. She enjoys it. She makes a lot of money. She's smart. She's make sure she's safe. Like, who the fuck is getting hurt? And people are enjoying it. I've never understood it.
That's very, 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 I couldn't agree with you more. And those types of things, when everybody should have equal rights and everybody should have equal pay, and the feminists come out and they're pissed off about everything. And here I am, a strong, independent woman who made clear choices for myself and my family, and we're crushing it, and we're happy. And I've been married 25 amazing years and have really well-adjusted, brilliant, happy kids. Who the fuck are you to tell me that I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing when you run around preaching about female empowerment? To me, it makes so opposite of the word sense. I can't even put my head around it.
Yeah, it's
And as you see on Twitter, I don't.
You do not. You do. Well, that's the other thing. So, I mean, that's, let's be honest. Like, so, I'm not, there's stuff I like about Trump, there's stuff I don't like about Trump, but it's a scary time in America to even say, it's almost a hate crime to say you like Donald Trump. And I give you credit. Like, you don't fuck around. You're like, yep, I like this guy. He's my president. If you don't like him, fuck off. And you have to deal now, as we know, with real shit when you do that.
Oh, God, yeah, I've had death threats. I mean, for real. And the thing that's so funny to me is at this point, in my years, I'm old enough to have seen several presidencies come and go. Mm-hmm. And the thing you're right, this time that we're living in is extremely bizarre. I just think that because for 30, 35, 40 years, the Hillary not getting in blew the heads off of everybody who thought that socialism was finally here.
Right.
I mean, they've been working at it for a really long time. and Trump just cut him off at the knees. So of course they're pissed off. The thing I don't understand, every presidency has its people who voted for the president and people who didn't. But as a country, we've always come together and gone, well, okay, he's our president. Rock and roll. Let's see what he's got. This one took it to another level. Everybody who didn't vote for him lost their freaking minds. And that is where I get on Twitter, I just lose it, because it's like, I agree with Trump. You don't like this country? Get the fuck out. There's a bunch of other places you can go. No one's forcing you to stay here.
Do you think you get judged more for being a porn star or a Trump supporter?
It's a good question.
That is a phenomenal question.
There you go, Mike. Good question.
And Mike, seriously, that's probably that takes the cake right there. And
That's what I provide here.
Can't say that I know for sure, but what I will say is I certainly feel the wrath of the left and or any anti-Trumper more so today than I do about being a porn star. It's like that got set to the back. Now let's just hate her because she actually supports the president of the United States. And that I'll take that. I'll take that. Grab a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, kick my feet up, and start smashing trolls. That's totally cool.
What's the oddest fan interaction you've had? I mean, there's got to be so. I mean, I got to pick one.
Yeah,
well, I mean, there's got to be something that's just. I can't even imagine how creepy it can get.
You know what? It's funny because there's a lot of people that think things like Exotica or the AVNs or the XBiz conventions where all the fans come out and hang out with us. I get those all the time where guys are like, oh, aren't they creepy and they're smelly and they're all over you? I don't know if I'm lucky, but I think I am. I'm lucky. My fan base is incredible.
Thank you.
They're so respectful. They come up to me. Sometimes the conversations, like you said, but I'm prepared for it. I jack off to you so often, and they're looking you in the face. That's when you go, oh, okay. I kind of figured that, but now that it's out there, but they're not. I don't consider that creepy. They're just expressing their sexuality, and they're amongst adult stars where if there's ever a place to feel safe and like you can talk about anything, to me that's it. So I don't really get creeped out or have any issue.
Go ahead.
The oddest one, honestly, was I was at the airport with one of my little ones, and I could tell that this pilot knew who I was. Totally fine, a little nod, a little wink. I'm like, cool. I'm with my kid. That's not the time to come up, and you wouldn't think you had to tell people this, but
Right.
So he comes over to me with a little folded up note, and I'm thinking, the hell? My kid's looking at me like, well, actually, she said, is that a fan? I'm like, oh, Jesus. She's cool. She's very cool. She gets it. And I'm like, I don't know, babe. I'll read that later. I open it up a couple minutes later. I'm looking to the right. I read it, and he says, I'm a really big fan. Could I get a signature and a photo? It literally was a little like passing notes in fourth grade kind of note. And this man was older than me. I mean, he had to be in his early 50s. I'm like, come on, man. I'm counting on you to be a gentleman. Really? And you guys think, oh, that's not that weird. But to me, it's a little strange. It was a little bizarre.
Are there any? So, I used to do a thing on the old show where I would go through different categories on Tube Galore and say the ones that would freak me out the most. Are there any of these things like, look, if everything's legal, everyone's of age, God bless you, go for it. Is there anything where you look at these things, some of these porn worlds, and you're like, that is really fucked up? I mean, there's some stuff in there. Like I've seen catheter porn. I mean, this stuff. It's just. The human mind is so like. Look, you do a scene. You're obviously fantastic looking. You get somebody with you as well. I prefer more. I get protective of you. I don't like when there's another penis in there, Brandi. I'm not. I do. I'm gonna say it. I'll say it. I get upset. So if you're doing your lesbian scenes, I'm on board. These scenes with these weird, like I can't. The human mind is so interesting to me that people can get off on some of this really weird stuff. I don't know, like 9 months pregnant. It's just I don't know. It's a strange world.
Well, it's one of those things that sexuality literally is like snowflakes.
True.
No two people's sexuality is going to be the same.
True.
Now, I'm in the adult industry. I hear and see a lot, and I've always been teased, and I tease myself about being a vanilla porn star. I love sex. I love the female form. I enjoy the excitement of what I do, but I mean, I don't do like I know, sorry everybody, but I don't do the 20-person gangbangs. I've never done an anal scene. There's things that, and you've seen on Twitter if you've happened to see, Brandi, why don't you do anal?
You get that. You get
Because
that.
I'm waiting for you to do it first, dickhead. I mean, come on.
That is the ultimate. But following Brandi, that is the ultimate. For some reason, Brandi, it's very important for you to get a penis in your ass for some reason. I'm not sure why these people need this in their life. I mean,
I don't know. There's only 10,000 women who've done it before, but they want to see my butt destroyed. I'm not interested.
What So what's the game? Do you have an end game in mind? Do you have an out date, or are you just gonna keep doing this, or are you thinking 5 years, 10 years, 2 years, or you're just enjoying the moment?
Well, I truly am enjoying the moment. It's taken 15 years to get into this. I call it a groove where I'm working with the companies I've always wanted to work with. I'm working with the top talent in the industry. I'm having such a blast, and it's, but it does get harder for me because I do want to grow old gracefully. I'm taking care of myself. I have my regimen. I do what I can to keep myself looking as young as I feel on the inside. But when you work in 4K, there are pictures I see and I go, oh, hell no. And I start thinking to myself, what's the end game? But I also love how being in the industry does keep me young. It's that every day, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's kind of like what I think married people and or people in a serious relationship should feel about themselves every day. Wake up and look and be the best you can look and be. You know how many people they've been married 5 years and they've gained 30 pounds. She cut all her hair off, doesn't wear makeup anymore. He doesn't bring her flowers. Mm-hmm. When you work in this industry, people think it's nuts. Not saying it's for everybody, but we always are striving to look our best for one another and for what we do. So it's a win-win.
Can I just say?
I'm afraid if I retire, I might just fall apart.
Oh, come on. Can I just say, by the way, I thought Howard Stern was a total asshole to you all those years ago.
Oh my God! And I thought he was as nice as I've ever heard him. He could have ripped me apart.
They were saying, well, maybe it was Fred. I remember watching it, and they were saying that you were a butterface and all that. It's ridiculous, insulting.
Oh yeah,
yes.
yeah,
outrageous.
Face,
yeah, come on.
But for Howard, come on,
that's true.
That's nothing. He could have. He didn't. I was waiting for him to rip apart my body. He did. He made fun of my hair, which when I look back at the video, it is pretty funny. I mean, that was a long time ago. Hairstyles have changed. I can laugh about that. The butterface, whatever. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. That's cool.
Was that your intro into that? Like, when did you start? When did you go from whatever you were doing to this?
That Howard Stern, I believe, was 2004.
Right.
And that's the same year that BrandiLove.com was born. So that was, I was very persistent. I knew that Howard, kind of like you guys, have an incredible audience and impact. And I just knew that, my God, if something's going to work and put us on the map of an industry full of people, it would be Howard. And I just literally, I know you're going to laugh, but it was snail mail back then.
Right,
I sent a letter every single Tuesday without fail. And it took literally 3 weeks, and I got a phone call from Gary. And I'm driving down the street, and he's like, hey, this is Gary from the Howard Stern Show. I pulled over. I was shaking. I'm like, this is a joke. No, it wasn't. I was out there in New York a week and a half later.
And then, go ahead, Mike.
I was curious. You were talking about equal rights earlier, and I noticed my people aren't really represented in porn a lot.
Oh, you want blind people in porn?
I was curious if you thought there might be a storyline between you and, say, like a young blind guy with a lot of spunk. Like maybe you're his you're his aide, but you realize there's something there.
Yeah, it's almost like a porn version of the Miracle Worker.
Sure, something like that.
Yeah, where you're like sort of like you're his blind instructor. That could work. No,
there's a spark between you.
Yeah,
you know what? I think that's an awesome storyline. But Blind Mike, do you know anybody with those characteristics?
I mean, if you needed someone, I could.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd watch that. I would watch that movie.
Actually, that is kind of hot.
Yes,
yeah, right.
It's not a bad scene. I mean, you must.
I'll get production started.
How involved are you do you have any involvement whatsoever in the storylines? You ever pitch them? Do you ever see a girl that you like, for example, and be like, "Ooh, I want to work with her. Here's a storyline," or you just kind of get sent the thing by the producer and go do it?
Oftentimes, it's sent to me. There are many companies that I've shot with for so many years, and they know me so well that there won't be a script. They'll say, "Brandi, this is your character. Go for it." we know you're good at impromptu. And those tend to be better scenes because they're more natural. You know, you're not trying to remember lines. But the scenes that I've actually been a part of the writing are my sweetheart videos. I've done 3 features with them: Brandi Loves Girls, Brandi Loves MILFs, and Brandi Loves Girls 2. Those, all 3 of those, and there's a 4th one, by the way, coming out in September. Stay tuned.
Good.
I wrote with the director. He and I wrote every single scene, and it was so much fun. The fans, with my help, what I mean by that is I put out the names of all the women I wanted to shoot with, and the fans voted. And Sweetheart Vids actually took the time to take in all the tallies, and I shot this next feature coming out in September, showcase. It's all women that I wanted to shoot with, so it's really, really amazing.
Ooh, I'm in. I will be watching. I am in. Anything else?
I'll have to call back to see what you think about it.
Absolutely. Promote away. Anything else you want to promote?
Well, when we were talking about content that you can produce, right?
Yep.
With things being ripped off in the Napster of porn and all these types of things. One of my favorite things to do is spending time on my private Snapchat, which you can get to Snap Brandi, SNAP, Brandi with an I. And that is daily content that's live. You can't rip it off. It's definitely me. I have one-on-one interactions with everybody. So everybody out there who knows what Snapchat is understands it's like the most raw, amateur, authentic content because you're shooting it right now from me to my phone to you.
Well, give us an example of something we might see there to titillate the audience.
Well, the other day, it was last week, my husband drove me to the airport and we were getting frisky and I shot the whole hand job to finish on the way to the airport. And then I sat there and I chatted with them, with my fans that were on the Snapchat. So
that's a good example.
You know, we go hiking in the woods all the time. Things happen, you know. Hiking makes everybody randy, doesn't it?
I think so. Yes, always has for me. Yeah, sure.
All right,
yes.
me too. So things like that, winding down at night, set the phone up, have sex. We have a good time. And when I'm out in LA, like I'll be out in LA August 1st to 15th, I'm always shooting BTS, getting my the talent that I'm working with that day to do interviews, to get naked, have makeout sessions. Those types of things are all on my private Snap.
Jeez. And what? Anything else you got? Promote away. This is your shot here. Anything else you want to promote or no?
Absolutely. You guys know. Well, you guys know, but if you guys, anybody out there who doesn't, my Instagram and my Twitter are Brandi_Love. My you can always if you guys don't have my fleshlight, I'm going to be very upset with you because that's the most intimate way for us to have sex when I'm not in the room.
I have to say the fleshlight. Talk me into it because it makes me nervous because I feel like I'm gonna. I don't know. It feels
like after one use you can't really.
Yeah, I believe me. I'll get it in 2 seconds if you assure me it is. Just sort of walk me through it.
Well, there's a reason it is the #1 masturbatory toy on the market and has been since it came out. It was such an intense... I waited for 10 years, really. I'd been offered many other toys, and I wouldn't do it because I wanted a fleshlight.
Okay.
It is the best. And trust me, one use, now you'll have it for years. The thing is amazing. I sat in a chair, legs spread, being molded for an hour. They literally paste this, I don't know what it is, some goo. Kind of felt good, but they put it all over you and you sit there and you let it, I don't know, settle.
Sure.
They peel it off and it is so authentic. Every wrinkle, crinkle, line, you name it, it's there. It's identical to me. And the best part is we spent a lot of time putting the sleeve together, which is I helped pick the texture on the inside. So when you slide your dick in there, first of all, put lots of lube, makes it even better.
Done. Okay.
Play with the outside because you got to warm me up. You know, don't just stick it in there. So
continue.
Warm me up. Put the lube on, and on the back of the fleshlight is a little knob. You twist it, which you decide the suction. You can make it smoother, so it's nice, a slow, steady stroke, or you tighten it, and it's like there's a suction. Yeah, see,
Jeez.
now you're getting ready.
I'm thinking. Well, why don't you give the audience a weird way what they want? Why don't you do that for your bud as well? And then you're all set.
I already did.
You did.
You can get the 2-pack. You get both parts.
Smart.
And,
Jesus,
you're
smart.
People on Twitter
What a
are like,
value.
"You get so stupid. You don't do anal." I'm like, but I do. Just get my fleshlight and you can beat the shit out of my asshole. It's totally fine. And I'll still be smiling in the morning.
Very nice of you.
Well, this is perfect. This was great. This is everything I wanted. This is fantastic.
It's such a pleasure. It's been a few years in the making, hasn't it?
Well, yeah. So, Brandi, we got, I think it was last year, we're going to have you on my old show in Boston on the radio station.
I swear to God,
year
it's
before?
been 2 years.
You might be right. And the fucking program director was like, oh, she's a porn. And my argument was exactly that. I'm like, well,
That's the point, buddy.
Right. I'm like, she's fans, I know, we got reaction like crazy. Guys love her. All we have is guys who listen. B, you're basically telling a woman who is clear of mind, no drugs, no alcohol, she just wants to make a living. You're shaming her. Like, fuck you. Like, and she's proud of herself. Like, why wouldn't we want to talk about that?
It was interesting. I could tell you were so pissed off. 'Cause I think you and I chatted that morning. It was like 9 a.m. I was ready to go. And I'm like, something's not right because the car was supposed to be here.
Right.
And then I got this call from you guys. And I'm like, oh my God.
I was so pissed.
I knew that wasn't going to go over well with you. I was pissed.
I was not
at
happy.
you guys, obviously.
Yeah, no.
I understood what was happening. But those are the very reasons, Kirk, that I do what I do. It's a perfectly legal business. It brings nothing but pleasure to people. I love it. My family life is amazing. I don't understand what people's issue is, whether they were raised that it's dirty and bad and then they go jerk off in the corner.
Of course.
It just seems like, it's such a hypocrisy.
Well, it's the weirdest thing. Like everybody, essentially everybody masturbates, but yet still, there's this weird stigma around it. It's like we all you have a desire, you have a release, you clean up, you're done. What am I missing? What the fuck am I missing?
If you figure it out, will you please tell me?
Yes, I will.
Can't figure it out either.
Yes, I will. We will do a scene where I'm the professor and I teach you about it. How was that?
Oh,
yes.
There we go. I'm usually the teacher.
I know, that's
fun
true.
To be the student.
Yeah,
sure.
in my mind, in my scenario, you're never you have to be the teacher. That's true. We'll do that. That and your blind, your famous blind series with Blind Mike. Everyone's going to be looking forward to it.
That is
That'd be great.
Really hot scene. Yes. I'm going to work on that one, Mike.
Thank you.
All right. So whenever you're in town, obviously, come on by, and we'll talk to you very soon, I hope.
I'd love that. Thank you guys
so much. All right, Brandi,
Have
thanks
a
so much.
wonderful day.
We'll talk to you.
Take
Thanks
care.
again.
Bye.